All right.
Woohoo! Angel Syndicate Live. Season 2, Episode 4.
Four, yes, four. We've gotten to four of
E3.
these already.
Yeah. E3 Legendary Defender. Because, yeah. I'm going to be talking about E3 and Voltron. Woohoo!
And a few other little things. But let's go ahead and let's start off with the one thing I know that you're going to sit here and talk about until I tell you to stop. Talk.
Alright.
Yeah, Voltron.
Voltron. Well, let me tell you. Nostalgia aside, because there was a lot of that, it is really, really well done. I have to admit, the production quality is there, but the writing, the characters were very, very well presented. There was plenty of humor, and I got that Avatar: The Last Airbender vibe in a way with the way they're doing characters and interactions, and the animation is beautiful. And they didn't they took the time they needed for the episodes. They didn't speed through things, and they ended it perfectly to set up for a new season, and I'm in love with it. Absolutely in love with it. I could go on, but I won't because people need to see it. And Lance is the shit.
Yeah, it is definitely on my list.
No, you definitely need to talk about it. If Kareem was here, we could probably wax poetic for an hour or two about it. But since he's decided to be missing, he'll probably pop in, and then we'll go back over it when he gets back. But
Yeah.
definitely it's one of those things that even if I didn't have Netflix, I would have paid for Netflix anyway just to watch it and support it because it was just that good.
Yeah, I'm really excited that we're starting to get a lot of those old shows back, and especially getting new versions of those old shows. It's good for everyone. It means that between that and some of the brand new content that Netflix is just becoming a powerhouse in the distributed movie and TV show kind of thing. They're they're making new seasons left and right of all kinds of stuff that's catering to just about anyone you'd want. It's giving people what they're looking for without having to worry about it going on cable TV for a while first and dealing with all of that bullshit.
Yeah, not to mention the big Disney deal, getting the entire Disney collection. That's huge.
That is phenomenal, and it's if there's anything that was going to push families to go and get Netflix, I think that would be it. Just to be able to put all of them on so their kids can watch it.
Oh,
I've noticed with Disney that ever since they must have had a pretty big regime change over the last few years, or they realized that they can't buy Congress enough to extend copyrights for things because they've really been trying their damnedest to um, just to expand all of their stuff to make sure they've got plenty of other revenue making operations, like when they went and bought Marvel. And they've been just pimping out that license to anything that moves. So they can make that kind of money because I'm pretty damn sure that a lot of the earliest Disney stuff is about to start coming out of copyright.
well, this is it. That, and I think they've taken notice finally in this age of piracy that they're not getting money because people are just downloading the back library. They're not waiting for the vault to open up to buy a new edition Blu-ray or a new release or re-release of something. They're just downloading it. So they're not going to get any money, so they have to do something to get that money for the back catalog.
That's true, and at this point, just putting it out there to where anyone can watch it at any time, they're going to get that trickle all the way through, as opposed to going through all the effort of putting together a physical distribution and trying to hype all that up through marketing, saying, "Oh yeah, yet again, you're going to be able to see all these things that you've seen 30 other times again." No one, the market for that kind of stuff is drying up, and being able to just put it out there, it is the best move for them, and I'm kind of impressed that they actually had the balls to do it.
Absolutely. The only question I have about it is if they're getting the entire Disney catalog, does that mean we're going to get to see the Black Cauldron?
Oh, you know, I think so.
I'm
Because
hoping.
Well, I mean, it was a co-production between them and Jim Henson, and I'm pretty sure Jim Henson's company wouldn't mind it at this point, but that might be the only sticking point.
Well, exactly, and everything else since. But I mean, I would love to sit down and watch The Black Cauldron and Flight of the Navigator, and some of those movies in that particular time period where Disney went a little weird and did some off
Yeah,
the wall shit.
which I mean is nice. They need to do that more often. Every place needs to do that more often. When you're a company that big, put out your to put it in gamer terms, put out your damn Battlefield, put out your Madden, and then use that money and go make cool shit.
Well, exactly. I mean, they've got two huge money making machines. I mean, Marvel is just, especially the Marvel movie properties, are just eating up the dollars. And Disney movies are still getting a lot of money. So, they can afford to do it, but there's so much back stuff that everybody would like to have that they can just make it readily accessible and it's there. And then they'll start drawing in more audience.
Yeah, it's something that I think that every big company, especially because at this point, let's face it, just like the everyone's either really poor or really rich these days, and the middle class is pretty much gone. It's the same thing with companies. Either you're really small and agile and indie, or you're a part of some giant ass conglomerate, and there seems to be no middle ground there. So it's kind of interesting to watch that transition between movies and TV and video games and all of our creative stuff, trying to go through the metamorphosis of trying to figure out how to remarket themselves and how to make money in this new economy.
Yeah, especially in this digital age where, everything's accessible. They have to get
Yeah.
on it. So, and they picked the right platform to do it.
Oh, geez. Yeah, it is a freaking minefield. But that would be a whole other. Maybe we'll do an entire thing about the creative process later.
Yeah, we've got plenty to get to already, so that might be.
Oh, oh God, yeah. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and let's talk about what I did yesterday. Funnily
Shoot.
enough, yesterday was free RPG day for all of you people that like the old tabletop gaming stuff. Let me bring up the list of some of the cool shit that was available.
You can never
Ah,
argue with free stuff.
I know, right? And there was some really nice ones out there this year. Let's see, Through the Breach was out there. The Dark Eye was the game that I ran. It is you've probably seen it on Steam. There are like 6 or 7 games that use that particular system. It's a 20-year-old German RPG that is finally coming to the states. It's like their D&D, and it is really old school fantasy. Magic is weird. Swords are awesome. It's just brutal and guttural. It's You could almost compare it to Warhammer, but it definitely has its own spin on it, and I really enjoyed it. Let's see, there was Faith, the sci-fi RPG, which actually uses a deck of cards instead of dice. I read through some of the stuff on that; it looked really neat. Castles and Crusades, which is pretty freaking venerable at this point, had some free RPG Day stuff. If you have a local game store, I'm willing to bet they've still got a few copies of some things, or you can go do a quick Google search, and a lot of these places have the quick start rules up there for free. Definitely go check them out. And next week, The Dark Eye comes out, so if you're into that kind of stuff, I can hardly recommend it.
It sounds like a nice haul. Absolutely. I'm gonna have to take a look at this myself. I,
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I ran it. I ran it with 3 people. No people played Magic usually, but I thought it was neat because it's the kind of magic that it is rare. It is a low magic world where when you can do stuff, it is absolutely amazing, and it takes a long time to do it. No sitting there and slapping someone for 1d8 hit points. It's their healing spells take 13 rounds to do. They're blasting. They have in the quick start rules there was one attack spell that took 2 rounds to cast, which did a fair chunk of damage. But when you're pulling magic, pulling stuff out of your ass to use it, it's pretty amazing. I like it, and I think a lot of people are gonna like it too.
Oh, damn. We'll definitely make those links available once this hits YouTube and the site, so everybody can take a boo
Oh
at
yeah, oh yeah,
things.
that's right. And Fantasy Age had theirs out too, which is a version of D20, kind of, sort of. Um, it's the RPG system that they initially made for the Dragon Age tabletop game. They made a tabletop version of that, and then they went and generified it, and they made their own campaign world and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I thought it was a really neat system. The levels come quick, and with those come all kinds of other benefits to take that very generic fighter, rogue, or wizard archetypes and make them your own. So that's another one that'd be really good. Honestly, it was a pretty good haul, and I got some sweet ass dice out of it too. So
Yeah, that's something I need to do is get a new set. Mine is old, like,
you need to come over to California so I can run some games. Damn it!
yeah. We'll just have to do it virtually. Live stream
Uh,
some games.
that is kind of sort of on my list. I'm waiting for a few Kickstarters to come in, and then I'll probably be looking for some people to potentially start playing on weekends. So maybe I'll let people know as I figure shit out.
It'd be interesting. Something different,
All right.
anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Let's move on to the next part of our itinerary because obviously we're trying to cram everything in before we start talking about
Yeah.
the big thing that we're all waiting to talk about. Good Old Games has had their sale this week. Their finale sale is now until I think tomorrow. So everything that has ever been on sale for them through this week is up on sale right now. There are a few really good ones that are up there. If you're missing some Dungeons and Dragons games, they're up there. There's a cool game I picked up called Rebel Galaxy. Uh, it's another game where you're in a spaceship and you're flying around, picking up bounties, shooting dudes in the or shooting other ships in the face. Rather, the soundtrack is amazing. It
Yeah.
is. Oh my god.
Yeah, we reviewed that on the site 6 months or more ago,
Oh
and
yeah.
I just got Kareem playing it. So, and I streamed some of it myself. It's a beautiful game, beautiful indie title. You know.
Absolutely, and right now it's $10. It's half off up there, so that's
Yeah.
definitely worth looking at. All the Witcher games are on sale. Just everything is on sale. Just go there and friggin', spend a little bit of money there because obviously we're waiting for Steam sales coming up next week, which is oh hell, let's talk about it now. Steam sales next week. Next Thursday is when they start. So I hope you like your wallet fat because it's not going to be fat anymore.
Yeah. Be prepared for your wallet to cry salty, salty tears because yet again it's the Steam Summer Sale on the 23rd. God knows what's gonna get discounted, what isn't, but there's gonna be a lot of shit for sale, and I know I'm going to cry.
What are you hoping for this year?
Uh, honestly, I'm not sure. You know, for my back wish list, there's really not that much I have on anymore because I've sort of cleaned things out for all the stuff that's coming. But I'll bring up my list and take a look.
Yep, I can already tell you a couple of things that I'm really hoping for, which is going to be Stellaris, because you bastards keep playing it and keep talking about how awesome it is, and I haven't picked it up yet. Total War Warhammer, I'm hoping is going to get 25% off, because then I will definitely snatch that up. Let's see, what else is up here? Uh, duh, 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 duh. Kerbal Space Program has been on my list forever. Uh, Akiba's Trip is definitely on my list. Sorry, Tom, if you're listening to this. I'm going to be picking you up on sale. I'm sure you'll forgive me. Uh, yeah, just all kinds of. I'm definitely waiting with bated breath, and I have a very specific list. What are you thinking about?
The only thing on my list right now is Final Fantasy IX. Actually,
Really?
yeah. Well, I have to finish off the whole collection. I've got almost all of the Steam releases for Final Fantasy. That's the only one I don't have. That and six because I heard the Steam release of six was horrible. So I'm kind of ignoring that.
Yeah, it's a port of the iOS port, which people didn't like.
Yeah. So, but I'm looking for nine, and then it's probably just going to be whatever catches my interest or what gets recommended to me at this point. because I've been staying up to date with a lot of games that there's not really much that I've missed. I mean, the one expansion pack for Civilization Beyond Earth wouldn't be too bad to pick up, but there's not much point when there's Civ 6 around the corner.
Oh God, don't remind me.
So I don't really have a big list of things I want, but I will probably have a huge list of impulse buys by the time the sale's over.
Yep, situation normal on that. All right, let's then in that case, let's go ahead and roll over to E3.
Yes. Well, there's one other thing actually that I just remembered, and that's
No.
yes, Robotech is getting a new comic series through Titan Comics.
Oh, really? Do you know
Yeah.
who's controlling that creatively?
I'm not sure. I believe it. They either are got the ability through Harmony Gold, but I don't remember reading an announcement of but who was
Oh
doing
my
it
God, I cannot believe
themselves.
Harmony Gold is still a thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing,
It's
unfortunately.
amazing. That's gonna be good. Hopefully, one of us will pick it up and be able to start actually talking about that comic.
Yeah, it's slated for early 2017. So Titan is it just the news I've read so far is just that Titan has partnered with Harmony Gold to do the comic series. So we'll probably find out more about who's actually doing the work closer to when it comes out.
Awesome. I await with bated breath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes,
now
E3.
E3.
Get your penguins ready.
Yeah, they a lot of places made a lot of interesting showings. Sony is definitely hitting. Well, Sony. Well, let's go ahead and. There's so many things to talk about. Oh my god, let's talk about the consoles first. Sony and Microsoft are both releasing more powerful versions of their particular latest hardware sets in anticipation for fuck if I know.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Sony didn't talk about the Neo during their press conference, but Microsoft, of course, talked about the Slim and Scorpio.
Well, of course, they're not going to talk about it now. I mean, that's something that they're going to kind of spring on people when they're not looking. And then, couple that with Final Fantasy 15 when it comes out saying, oh, yeah, this is going to run even better on that. It's going to be this 1-2 punch with the uppercut being, oh, yeah, you want to run our VR stuff? You're definitely going to want this because it'll make everything run 10 times better.
Well, this is it. I mean, what's interesting, especially for Microsoft's side, is that they're releasing the Slim first, and then next year they're releasing Scorpio, which I don't quite get. But the other thing with that is, as far as Microsoft's side goes, is every game, or nearly every game that they talked about this year, they said would be coming to Xbox One and Windows 10 with crossplay. And it concerns me because it seems like they're not going to draw more people to the Xbox One if they're going to just get the games for PC and be able to play it with their friends anyway. So it's it seems like an odd move. I mean, yes, if you buy it for Xbox One, then you'll get it for Windows 10 for free. So I can kind of see that, but otherwise, people are probably just going to buy it for Windows 10 if their computer can run, if their systems can run it, and they're still not going to sell any more Xbox Ones.
My thought is that they're trying to cram a few corks in a very, very leaky dam. And they're also actively trying to take on Steam because these games that are coming out on, these games can be played on Windows 10. They're going to be going through their own store and not through any other medium. I think they're shooting themselves in the foot on that. They're going to get some people that are going to be all over that. I mean, I'll admit that if Halo 5 came out on Windows 10, I would probably buy that, and that's it.
Well, that's
It,
true.
it's just going to sit there on my desktop the same way that fucking Origin sits on my desktop for the 3 games that at one point I wanted to pick up for it, and that's it.
Well, one of my guilty pleasures, of course, is The Sims, so I use Origin for that, and I think I've got the Command and Conquer Ultimate Collection. That's about it.
Okay, I'll forgive you the first one because you got the second one.
And occasionally They put out some games on the house for free that are worth picking up, like Nox. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I don't open Origin very much.
Yeah, and it's kind of a shame. I mean, they would probably make more money if, I mean, I guess it's because they invested so much into that platform that they can't do anything else, and it's kind of a shame. And hey, I mean, if that's the way they want to roll, yeah, more power to them.
Absolutely. Plus, a lot of the stuff gets released on Steam anyway, so it just doesn't make any sense. But
I
anyway,
guess it doesn't have to make sense. It's what they want to do.
that's true. But yeah, you're right on the consoles, and unless I slept through it, I don't think Nintendo touched on the NX.
As far as I know, no. The only thing, okay, well, I mean, it's Nintendo, so everything was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that came out of that was, hey, let's watch the latest Zelda.
That and there was a announcement which I missed, and I read a little bit on about a new RPG for the 3DS from the creator, I think, or creative team of Secret of Mana. I have to look up more on that,
Ooh,
but that
yeah.
sounded
Okay.
interesting.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, all of the good RPGs lately, with a few notable exceptions, have been going to the handhelds. I mean, the 3DS and the Vita both have fantastic games that you want to sit there and play for hours and hours and hours. And consoles have been missing a lot of those.
Yeah, the only RPG, well, the only two RPGs I can think of for console right now is the new Star Ocean for PS4 and Final Fantasy 15 coming in September.
Yeah, everything
Then,
else is pretty small scale and usually a JRPG. I mean, Grand Kingdom is coming out end of this month, which
yep,
is going to be pretty nice, and I've got my pre-order for that.
yep,
Outside of that, it's like, we're kind of missing stuff here.
yeah. Our review of that goes live Monday, I think. Monday or
Oh,
Tuesday.
nice.
Yeah,
I look forward to it.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
so yeah,
yeah,
and
well,
that's about it for RPGs. I mean, I mean Kingdom Hearts 3, I guess, but
they've been Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't it doesn't exist until I see it.
well, exactly. I mean, there's been I think some announcements on a couple of worlds. I think a Star Wars world and a Marvel world I think was announced or something or
Oh, really? I
mentioned.
heard dirty rumors that they were going to do Zootopia as well.
Uh, could be. I don't know. I do know one thing that came out was that they're not doing any Final Fantasy worlds with it. But that was it.
I can live with that.
Yeah, I kind.
Kingdom Hearts isn't about the Final Fantasy worlds anyway. Kingdom Hearts is
Yeah,
about let's romp through every Disney thing ever, and maybe throw in a little bit of a little bit of Final Fantasy here and there.
yeah. The Final Fantasy characters were more there for tutorial and occasional comic relief than any actual, fundamental gameplay.
Yeah, which I mean, hey, it works for them, and honestly, for the people that like Kingdom Hearts, that's what they're there for.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's see. Let's go down. Let's go on down the list. Mass Effect Andromeda had a didn't they have a video out?
They had a video, but it was mostly there were little tiny snippets of kind of sort of the game and a lot of developers talking about making the game. A lot of the designers and
Yep.
whatnot talking about making it, but they didn't really show anything of it.
And that's why I completely missed it.
Yes.
Sorry, I have been in there too long. I know when the marketing department doesn't have a lot to show, but they want to show something. So let's get a bunch of developers up there and quote a few key points. Nice idea, but I'm it's coming out what later this year, early next year.
Next year, if I'm not mistaken.
All
Although
right
they
then.
didn't
You know
give
what?
a release date.
Then I will care then.
Exactly.
Let's see. All the Star Wars.
All the Star Wars. Yeah, I kind of fell asleep. There was talk of. Well, I shouldn't say that. They talked about Star Wars games that are coming. They talked about Star Wars games that are here, like the mobile one. There was Star Trek VR at the Sony press conference, and there's a Star Trek game being made, or one or two being made, but they didn't show anything of it. They just showed a bunch of studios that are working on Star Wars games.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I imagine next year is going to be a very big Star Wars thing, especially considering they're going to have a couple other movies out,
Yeah.
and they're trying their damnedest to milk the Star Wars franchise for everything it's worth. But at least it's in a good way. It's not let's make the 20th
Oh,
rehash of the same thing.
Battlefront 2. That's what it was. Battlefront 2
Oh,
was talked about.
wait, battle. So a sequel to the Battlefront that came out that should have been Battlefront 3 but wasn't.
Yes. The new
I hate
Battlefront.
them.
A sequel
I
to the
hate
new
them all.
Battlefront.
Why the fuck would you name your shit like that?
I don't know.
It makes it so hard to talk about. Oh yeah, we're talking about Battlefront 2. Do you mean the one that's after the one that just came out, or do you mean the older one that I think people seem to really enjoy? Why do you bastards do this?
Branding? I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's
Yeah.
go down the Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1, I am legitimately interested in, surprisingly, because I've never been one for Battlefield, but I am just watching, not so much the trailers, because the trailers, while they were, interesting, they showed some things. It was watching the 64 player stream with the celebrities and YouTubers and whatnot. I don't really care about them, but the gameplay and watching them play, that really interested me. Watching, just everything blowing up, the weapons, and the way weapons could interfere with your targeting, like because some of those weapons in World War One were just nuts and horrible to use, and the tanks and the biplanes and the Zeppelin in the air. I was just it hooked me. I have to say, it actually hooked me.
They're actually grabbing the 1942 vibe again.
Yes,
That is really good to hear.
and like I think I giggled like a schoolgirl when the first time the Zeppelin came down and just vaporized everything within a certain area. And it's not a set location, it could come down anywhere. That was giggle worthy, because I think,
Yeah, that one I'm definitely watching for. Because we gotta get down this damn list. Let's see.
although the highlight of the 64 player was seeing Snoop Dogg smoking a blunt. That was great.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go find that now. That would be awesome. All right, let's see. Bethesda. You know what? Let's talk about Bethesda in general. So, Elder Scrolls Legends, they're doing the CCG thing again.
Yep. CCGs everywhere. That was this E3. It was like VR, CCGs everywhere, and shooters.
You know, with all due respect to people I've worked with or whatever, I'd rather see an asslet of CCGs than a big old pile of mobile games that are all copying each other over and over.
Agreed, as long as the CCGs aren't copying each other over and over again.
Yeah, well, you know what? I can live with that up to a point. This time is now. It's like when everyone started trying to be WoW, you at least got to have your different flavor of WoWness that you could sit there and enjoy. That would be kind of yours.
True.
That said, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it because I could use another good CCG in my life.
Well, don't forget, there's also Gwent coming out too. So there's going to be some competition.
Oh God, Gwent. Yeah, everyone's going to pick that up.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Let's see. I want to talk about this one real quick. Skyrim Special Edition. Holy shit! There you're. Why is Skyrim getting a special edition and us not getting like Morrowind Special Edition?
Probably because more people will play Skyrim Special Edition. So maybe if it goes well, then you'll see something else after that. But I think they just want to milk Skyrim a little bit more.
I'm kind of hoping what they're going to end up doing here is they're going to put out Skyrim, and maybe if we're really lucky, they'll put out Morrowind as a DLC. I'll pay a $40 DLC for Skyrim Special Edition. That gives me all of the Morrowind stuff, and another 40 for fucking Oblivion, and then just keep going down that line.
Well, they could very well do that
That would
if it
be
occurred to
awesome.
them.
Well, who knows? I mean, they're also working on Elder Scrolls 6, so maybe they're just using this as kind of a stopgap measure.
True. A little boost to the funding to make that, a little bit more into the kitty.
Yep. Speaking of things throwing money into the kitty, they have announced that they're going to stop doing. I believe the next few DLCs for Fallout 4 are going to be the last ones, but damn are they doozies.
Yes, contraptions looked interesting. I mean, I haven't played Fallout 4 yet because, well, I just haven't. Don't hate me. Uh,
Too late.
oh
That's not
well.
why I hate you.
I know. I love you too. Uh, but yeah, the DLC they're making some interesting things. Plus the DLC going to consoles. So yeah, they're adding some spunk to the game.
Yeah, being able to be a gang leader or being able to set up your own vault is all going to be nice. Speaking of the whole console thing, I'm really going to be watching that closely because since you have to make them on PC to be able to upload them to Bethesda's store, I'm kind of wondering what kind of quality control is going to end up with that. How many times people are going to go in there and try and be complete dicks by uploading stuff that, for whatever reason, manages to slip through before some console user downloads a cool new mod and it bricks their machine or something,
Yeah,
and then everything gets awkward.
and I think wasn't there an issue with authorship on mods, or am I thinking of a
Yes,
different
yeah, because
game?
people have been stealing other people's stuff left and right, and now that it's no longer Nexus mods or the Steam the Steam stuff, the Steam Workshop handling all of that, it's it's gonna be fun to sit back and enjoy some popcorn while you watch everyone implode a little.
Yeah, that's a system they need to really iron out.
That said, I think it's really fucking nice that they're doing it because console gamers do need that kind of love.
True, very true.
Bless their poor stupid hearts.
Well, speaking of love, Doom Snap Map, or Doom Mario Maker, it's the way it looked to me in a way. That's an interesting tool they're putting out there.
I thought it was already out.
Or, well, they're enhancing it, I guess, is the
They
way to put it.
probably need to. That thing is going to take more than a few iterations to make it really really good.
So,
When I played through Doom, I did not attack the snap map stuff, but it was on my list.
so yeah. And I guess to wrap up Bethesda, Dishonored 2, what did you think?
Dishonored 2 is going to be great. I think that they're going in a really neat direction with it. I think it's about time because isn't the protagonist black in this one?
No.
Oh, I
It's,
thought it was.
no, it's, the, forgive me for not remembering her name. The, the girl from the first one?
Oh, the princess.
Yes.
Oh
You can
shit.
play as either
Okay.
her or Corvo, and so you have a choice between either one and their perspectives, but they also have separate abilities.
Okay, I'm done with that.
So,
Again, it's good to get representation all across the board, so that's
yes.
awesome. Let's see. Let's go ahead and talk about. Oh yeah, Prey's coming back. What the shit?
I don't know, man. That was just like the trailer at first. That was interesting. It drew me in. I
Yeah,
liked
speaking
the
of represent.
Groundhoggy Day thing, and
Yeah,
then at the end it's like Prey, and it's like people lost their minds.
yeah, that definitely gonna be one to watch. Let's go through. Let's go through and let's just rattle through the remainder of these pretty damn quick because we're starting to get up on time. And honestly, I mean, there were just everyone followed this stuff, so this is more about what were we interested in.
Yes, really.
Um, yeah, you handle Forza because racing games are so not my forte.
Oh, don't look at me. I don't. The last racing game I enjoyed that wasn't Mario Kart was Gran Turismo on PS2. So,
Okay, then for our listeners, Forza's happening.
yeah,
Yay!
yay!
Um, I have no idea what the hell this other shit is. I'm gonna bring up State of Decay 2 because it was a fantastic little game that came out on the 360 and later PC. It is yet another zombie game, but it handled so well, and the way time worked in there was really fascinating. And honestly, the biggest complaint that everyone had, myself included, up to a point, was that it was not multiplayer. And now Decay Labs is making State of Decay 2, which is going to have multiplayer. So you're going to be able to actually work with friends to kind of build up the different bases you have, go and do actual scavenging in real time, making all of that happen. And that's what I'm really excited for.
Yeah. Well, since we're on Xbox, some of the enhancements that are coming, you'll have to forgive me. Everything is a blur from all of those, so I can't remember exactly what the point of Arena is. But clubs is interesting. A social club, which is basically like Xbox guilds, I guess. That's the feeling I got from it. And then a looking for group feature for games through the social hub of Xbox Live is interesting. That they're adding those directly into the overall live experience. Rather than getting into a game, you can actually look for groups before you even get into the game. I thought that was interesting little feature they're adding.
So pretty much what Steam does already.
Yeah, exactly. They're just
PC Game
doing it on
Master
console.
Race.
uh, EA. Well, we covered Battlefield 1 and Star Wars. Titanfall 2 is the biggest. The most exciting thing for me out of EA is going to be Titanfall 2 out of everything. I mean, yes, there's another FIFA coming out. Okay, we got that out of the way. More Madden, got that out of the way. Titanfall 2, Titans with swords. I'm sold. Uh, More features and single player campaign. You know, I'm ready for Titanfall 2. My body is ready for that. You know,
It sounds fascinating. I'm looking forward to it as well.
I popped into Titanfall 1 on PC the other day just to see what the population was, and I think it said 532 players worldwide.
That's not bad, honestly.
It's not bad, but at the same time, it's like, well, there's 532 people who just couldn't give up.
At that
Uh,
particular moment,
at that
when you
particular
logged
moment,
in.
which was on a
Remember, you're
weekend.
Canadian, which means you're in like weird ass standard time.
That's true, but it was 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night, so.
Um, Dude, do you know what
But,
most people are doing at 2 a.m. on a Friday night?
yeah, playing Overwatch.
Okay, point.
I have no illusions. Everybody's playing Overwatch. So,
Yeah, I'm Overwatch.
exactly. So, you know, that is kind of a good thing, but at the same time, it made me sad. But Titanfall 2 really, really made my day. Um, I guess that leaves us with what? Sony and Ubisoft.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, there was stuff there. I could definitely go look up stuff. Nothing really jumped out at me, but then again, I'll admit that I was only half paying attention to stuff at E3 this year. I rely a lot more on other places to kind of get my news from that, and there was just a gigantic deluge of all things VR and stuff that I was like, okay, my eyes are glossing over. I'm kind of done.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 on VR is just a big nope. Nuh-uh. Not doing it.
Give me the VR and I'll do a review for you.
I'll play it. I'll play it on console quite happily, but VR, hell no.
I did catch a little bit of that, and I like that they're trying to get back to something that's a little more sane, other than the entire world is going crazy, and here are these five superheroes essentially destined to stop it.
Yeah,
The fact that they're trying to go more jump scary than not is kind of saddening. But then again, it's Resident Evil and it's not Silent Hill, so color me surprised. Oh yeah, let's talk about that shit. I'm gonna totally just cut hard left, and we're gonna talk about Norman Reedus and Hideo Kojima.
yeah. I was just about to go there when Kojima came walking down stairs of light during the Sony press conference. You know, I laughed. I laughed so damn hard because it was perfect.
Everyone lost their shit over
Yeah,
Hideo Kojima and this new game that he's making, and I gotta admit, on one hand, pretty damn exciting. But on the other hand, this wouldn't be the first time that someone came down and said, "I am the god of gaming," and we're going to make you my bitch, and this game is going to have everything forever, and it's going to elicit all of this stuff, and I have been sorely disappointed. So I understand that everyone's got it all hyped, but me, I'm going to wait to see the results.
Well, I'm not hyped about the game, mainly because, I mean, it's early development, and they made that trailer specifically for E3, and it just confused the living hell out of me.
That's kind of the point.
You
I
know,
mean, it's
I
it's
mean,
Hideo Kojima. It's going to do that
it was Norman Reedus's, bare naked digital ass on a beach, I guess,
with a baby and
with a
whales
baby
and
that
ropes
disappeared
and
and some weird hands that were on the ground and then on him, and it made no sense whatsoever. But his entrance, I think, was less here's your new deity of gaming, and more just like a big middle finger to Konami.
yeah, and I
You know,
mean, I can't blame him.
after last year when he couldn't go, and what was it, the video game awards he couldn't go to, or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's
I
more
can't
what
knock
that
him.
was. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But and I haven't been on the Sony side of things for quite a while, but the direction they're taking God of War in interests me quite a bit. And I know some people are not happy about it with the whole father son angle, but that's interesting to me because it's kind of it. Well, I can't really say it's relevant because I'm not a demigod and I don't go out slaying things with my kid, but just
Why not?
because we've already done that. I live in a peaceful place. There are no Trumps in Canada. Um,
Oh,
so we've slayed our dragons. Anyway,
yeah. Thank
I'm
you.
just
Let's.
interesting how they're going to. I'm interested in that story. Uh, what was it? Oh, the game with the mechanical monsters that isn't Recore. Horizon
Okay.
New Dawn.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yes, that
yeah.
looks
Holy
interesting.
shit. Yeah, that one. That one is also. I have a lot of games on my list, but that one is also on the list.
So that Days
Yeah.
Gone is another zombie game, as far as I know.
Yeah, I
I
mean the
kind
zombie
of.
game genre is dying down. I still have yet to find a game that has managed to 110% nail it. Again, the closest thing that I've gotten is State of Decay 2, and even then, that's well, we'll see what State of Decay 2 has to offer.
Well, exactly. So there. I think the thing that I enjoyed most, other than Kojima's entrance during the Sony press conference, was the live orchestra was a nice touch with Bear McCreary there directing it. That was a nice touch. I have to give them that. Which is a sharp contrast to Ubisoft starting off with those rather colorful people dancing around for Just Dance. That was just weird.
After going to Tokyo Game Show, none of that shit even blips the radar anymore.
Well, that's a given. I can't argue with
I
that.
got to see girls cosplaying as Onechanbara, and for those who don't know what that is, go Google it. In short,
No,
girl.
don't. No, don't.
Oh, yes, totally. Google it at work with search safe search off. It
Yes,
will be
yes,
rewarding.
yes, do that.
No, yeah, it's girls in bikinis and cowboy hats and samurai swords.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Okay, I'll
Oh
give it
yeah,
to you.
yeah. The game itself was actually kind of fun. But anyway, let's wrap this up because
Yep.
we've talked a lot about UE3, and honestly, I think next week is going to be even more interesting. But let's
Well,
talk about what the hell we're playing.
well, give me 1 second because I want to finish on
Okay,
Ubisoft, and
I
we're
will
only at
die.
40 minutes.
I will stab you.
Uh, I'm actually interested in Wildlands, the next Tom Clancy game. I am.
Ah,
I
really?
can't help it. I am. I'm interested. I'm curious. I'm interested in Watch Dogs too. Surprisingly.
Oh, okay. Watch Dogs 2 was interesting. I thought that was the one I was thinking of. where like they change. Oh look,
Yeah,
it's being led
yes.
by a black guy, and apparently half the internet lost its shit. I'm like, really? It's a game. It's a story. It's going to be kind of neat.
It's
Just
the
let it go.
internet. It's the internet. I mean, I'm surprised it didn't react that way to FIFA with Journey mode. But I guess FIFA gets a pass.
Well, again, FIFA is mostly
Different audience.
international, and
Yeah,
yeah, those
true.
people don't seem to give a shit, and I can appreciate that.
So, but yeah, I'm interested in Watch Dogs 2. I mean, Watch Dogs 1 was something. It wasn't
Yeah,
bad. It was just
for people who want yet another game where it's a third person action game in a city where you run around and do stuff, it scratches that itch.
it does. It felt incomplete or hollow. Maybe hollow is the word I was going for. But, I'm curious about Watch Dog 2, especially since I think it's going to have drop-in co-op play, if I remember it correctly. That's of interest to me. I like that ability to just drop in and join somebody, do something, and then go. I think that's an interesting aspect, if, of course, I heard that correctly. You know,
And if it works the way they intend it,
of
which
course.
a lot of companies have said, "Oh yeah, we totally have drop-in co-op play," but then they attempt to do it, and it's like, bleh, so.
Yeah. So, that pretty much sums up Ubisoft that I can think of off the top of my head. There's that extreme sports game that I think I've seen a game kind of like it already from the indie scene that I can't remember.
Skater die.
Well, not that. But it was called Snow or something, but I think that was all snowboarding. But it just seems like they took some of the mini games that had Just Cause 3 and other games and just put them onto a mountain and off they went.
We're gonna
But
see that shit with VR the same way we saw it with mobile, the same way we saw
yeah,
it with each new generation of console. They're gonna
true.
take the simplest stuff that kind of maximizes this new technology, and they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, look at this! You can do all this, play these shitty ass mini games, but in full 3D,
Yeah.
where you're seeing all the action and blah 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 blah."
Although honestly, I think that's a game that I think they should have held on to until Gamescom, because that probably would be. I could see that being big in Europe more so than here. But what do I know? All I remember is most people I know in the West complain about snow. So, eh?
Oh, see, over here, we actually have the privilege of driving a couple hours away to get all the snow we want.
No, that's true. You guys don't have snow, not like I do.
Yeah,
So,
and down in the south,
I
it
guess.
snows what once every decade or so, and they shut down everything for a month.
Yeah, even though it's like an inch, and if an inch fell here, we wouldn't even notice. We'd be like, oh, there's some frost on the ground. So
A thick layer of frost today.
it's a little frosty. I think I'll leave my shorts on. It's not that cold.
uh,
So
not that I
yeah,
wouldn't mind a little bit of that cold weather. It is baking down here.
yeah. I saw the heat wave hitting everywhere.
Oh yeah, it sucks to be us, but that's weather related stuff and not Angel Syndicate related stuff.
That is true. Well, you cooking in your own juices—that's related to the site because it gives me amusement.
That's
But
great. I'm glad that you're knowing that my horribles are just bacon over here.
I am I am thoroughly amused. But yes, all right. I guess
All right.
that's
Yeah,
good for
let's
E3.
yeah, let's cover what the hell we're playing because I've got a couple
Uh,
of doozies.
what the hell am I playing? Stellaris. Go figure.
Really?
Actually, I picked up. I started playing Just Cause 3 again because there's new DLC out with mechs available. I gotta get those mechs, try them out. Uh, yeah, that's about it.
Damn. Okay. Well, I've been all over the place this week. I fired up Killing Floor 2 because I have some roommates and they wanted to play, and it's free this weekend up until tomorrow, and it's still on sale if you want to pick up a pre-sale sale.
Yeah.
A lot of they just introduced the sharpshooter class, so all you snipery types can get your sniper on. I think I found an old game that I've been meaning to play. Speaking of zombie games, Dead State is totally worth picking up by Double Bear Productions. It is a game It's another one of those zombie games. It's a top-down pseudo isometric where you go to different places on the map. You try and loot stuff. You have zombies and looters to deal with. I think that it's handled a lot of that tenseness pretty damn well.
Okay.
Of being able to get yourself into three-way fights where you're dealing with other looters and then the undead, and then when the zombie kills a looter, and then the looter comes up as a zombie, and then you got to deal with all that shit. It's for the price, it'll definitely tide you over until something better comes along. Outside of that, of course, I've been playing Overwatch because, of course, Overwatch, and I've been trying to get in my daily Smite games.
Yeah, that reminds me. I've been playing some Rebel Galaxy again, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right, in fucking Rebel Galaxy, because that was half off over on GOG, and that's seriously. If you're like on the fence about it, go look up some gameplay footage, listen to that soundtrack, and just feel the Firefly waves wash all over you.
Absolutely. And if you aren't part of the PC Master Race, it's also on consoles. It's on Xbox One for sure, because I have it on Xbox One and PC, because it's just that damn good. But I think it's on PS4 as well.
Yeah, definitely worth
But
it.
it's on sale
Definitely.
on PC.
Yeah, and I mean it's a blast. I mean, definitely if you can pick it up.
Indeed. And we overlook something, and I want to touch on it quickly before we wrap.
All right.
The PC gaming show during E3. Did you catch
Uh,
any of that?
I did not catch any of that. It was a rough week for me catching stuff because work of course decided this week to be really picky about me getting shit done. So I didn't catch a lot. I did get to watch some videos here and there. As I said, I got to watch one of my coworkers sit there and just stream the entire Zelda thing, which I looked over and I'm like, holy shit, it's Skyrim.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember much of anything from it. It was painful to watch. I think I got bored or something.
I'm not surprised. E3 has changed from being a thing where publishers show off to journalists and try and get them hyped to yet another. I mean, there's not much difference between that and a Comic Con or any of these other conventions. It's just that it's just a little harder to get in, but other than that, they're doing the same shit, and they need to fix that.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking forward to Gamescom because that's when the really interesting stuff is going to get shown. But I think I stopped watching the PC gaming show because I think Ubisoft was coming on and the other one was running late or something, and I just wasn't interested. I mean, I'm interested in PC games, but I couldn't watch it anymore. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's
So
just they need to start giving us, you know, they need to figure out their format and they need to find a way to get us excited,
yeah,
especially those of us actually in the game industry, because we're the ones that are going to be carrying a lot of the torches. Us and of course, game journalists like you.
yeah,
You've got to be excited about it. You've got to not be bored. If you're bored, their marketing team failed. They need to fix that shit. And I think it's a mixture of the publisher marketing teams and just the way E3 is being handled now.
well, exactly. And I think part of it is they have all these press conferences the 2 days or 2 days before, one day before, one day at the beginning, and they're all crowded together. That there's not that much separation. That even if you were excited about something, you might not remember it by the end of the last press conference because there's just so much thrown at you all at once.
Yep, it's just meh.
So yeah,
That's the worst thing you can do. Make us happy, make us upset, make us angry, make us sad. Don't make us meh.
absolutely. So unless you've gotten bored, I think this is the show.
Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time, same station. Most likely talking about new games that have come out over the last week, talking about Steam sales, and whatever the hell else seems to catch our mind.
Absolutely. So thank you for listening, and we are out.